Hi, everybody, for ZDNet. I'm Karen Roby with Danny Palmer today, and we're talking about an article you just put out, Danny, quite disturbing, talking about cybercrime as a service. I can't imagine what's next.
What this is based around is a report by researchers at BlackBerry, which analysed how certain cyber groups are operating at the moment. And there's one particular group called Bahamut, which they describe as a cyber criminal operation. So it's all criminals, malicious hackers, people breaking into networks, that sort of thing. But they are highly capable at what they do to the extent that they're described as almost nation state level in terms of their hacking ability, which is kind of worrying in of itself when you think, oh, what could cyber criminals do with the power of a nation state? Something that researchers have discovered is that this group and others like it are actually being used by nation state hacking groups in order to do their dirty work, essentially. Hacking and cyber attacks have become a major part of international statecraft, or at least international espionage, over the last few years. And there are various cases where this has happened and cyber attacks have been traced back to certain countries. What using a cyber criminal group like this does, obviously this cyber criminal group is being paid by the whoever's purchasing their services. It keeps the activity at arm's length. So you could be, say, country X wanted to infiltrate networks of something in country Y. If they use this cyber criminal group as sort of the middleman, they can get what they want, be the information, data, intel on whatever it is they're looking for. Plus, they have the added bonus of it's at arm's length, and it can't really be traced back to them, because even if you can trace it back to a cyber criminal operation, you can't really then just go, okay, then this must have been working on behalf of these guys over there. It creates that element of ambiguity, which is extremely useful if you're looking to get up to no good in cyberspace, which is it's an interesting development for sure.
Yeah, and I'm sure that extra layer of protection for the criminals is very desirable. So, Danny, when we talk about the type of attacks we're seeing, is it ransomware, just basic phishing? I mean, anything goes.
Anything goes, really. Yeah. The one group that was focused on in this report, Bahamut, they do things like phishing attacks, which, as we know, are an incredibly useful way of gaining entry to networks, because send an email, usually tailored to the extent that you'll get someone you're targeting to click on it, open it, run it on their network. You're in there. But they also they also use various types of malware. The group detailed in this study is also has technical capabilities to the extent that it is using its own custom malware and 0 days, which had not been found anywhere else. Basically, vulnerabilities in software, which this cyber criminal group was using for its own purposes, which hadn't been disclosed previous to this. So this particular operation is using all sorts of different methods to infiltrate the target network. So social media is another element of all this, where they can use messaging services to get through to people. Things like LinkedIn to target individuals. I mean, this group has targeted individuals and companies and governments all around the world. So they know what they're doing. And before they were detailed in the recent report, they'd remained under the radar they'd been operating since at least 2016. So they'd spent years without anyone actually identifying activity and linking it towards this group. So yeah, it's as previously mentioned, this is a cyber criminal operation which ultimately has the hacking ability of a sophisticated cyber power, which really changes the balance of things when it comes to dealing with cyber attacks, especially as mentioned, if you can keep those your involvement in these attacks at arm's length, there's not much the international community can do about it, unfortunately.
All right, Danny, thanks so much for being with me here today. Again, a pretty disturbing development in the world of cybercrime. Much more on this story can be found on ZDNet. We hope you guys will check it out there. Thanks for watching.